chase your growth, and whatever you need to be on that path, just get that done. If you have to reach out to that person you do not like, or you have some grudges from or whatever, but if that person is required for your growth, just reach out to them and be humble and ask those questions, accept their help. So don't shy away from accepting any help. There are, at times we have this ego thing coming in between. They're like, okay, that person is very dumb, or so we have this perception, okay, what would that person know? But if at times that person can have a lot to offer. So keep
Right.
your ego aside when it's about your growth.
Welcome to the Mitti Gerang podcast, Tanuja. How are you doing?
Hi Mishika, I'm absolutely great. Just found my way to cope up with this pandemic and getting through the day. What's up at your end?
It's been great. DU has finally learned how to operate online, and we are going with the classes now. Finally, my parents are very happy now that I'm
Um,
studying.
Good for everyone, I believe.
Right. So, my
Yeah.
question to you to start off the podcast would be, you are such a hustler. You
Mhm.
worked throughout your college life, scored multiple internships. So there are a lot of college students, graduate, undergraduate, who are looking for
Mhm.
jobs or say internships right now. So, what would your suggestion to them would be, and how did you score internships?
Okay. So I'll answer your question in two parts. As in, what would I say to people right now at this moment? Because this is a time which nobody has seen before. And honestly, when I started my college in 2015, and if anybody would have asked me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I would have not said that. I would see myself in a pandemic locked in a home for 5, 6 months, right? So, considering this time, I really want everyone, and in fact, I suggest to everyone this thing, that do not stop, whether it's internship, whether it's job, or whether it's freelance work. There has to be this continuous thing in terms of learning and in terms of improving yourself. So there are a couple of people whose jobs have been laid off. I mean, they have been laid off from their jobs, and for some people, their internships and joining has been delayed, and that delay is infinite. Like, it could be January next year, it could be tomorrow, right? So there's this uncertainty of period, and nobody should face this. Honestly, why should I be dependent on that company for my future just because of their convenience, right? So my learning should continue. In that case, I should find opportunities if I believe that could help me out. So that could be freelance work, one thing. Another could be internship. So even if you have been laid off right now or anything, just go with internship. There's no harm in portraying yourself as a student who is ready to learn. And even if I'm a graduate right now, I'm happy to say that I'm a student. I honestly miss that title anyway because the conventional terms. But that student title gives you that leverage to ask questions, fail, and learn. And how did it happen to me back in all those 5 years? Was I kept asking for it, right? So when I started just after my 12th, I asked for work. I wanted to know, right, how does the entire content writing thing work? I was a very noob. I mean, a noob person, honestly, starting out in the field, have no idea what is PPW. I used to think, okay, they are saying PPW, 50 PPW, that means 50 paisa per word. I realized it very late. But then when somebody said it's zero point 0.5 PPW, that's like zero point 0.5 rupees, right? So there has to be a difference between the terminology there. So I was kind of very confused and also very amazed, like, okay, this is something clarity I have to be aware of when starting out my work. So keep asking things, keep asking questions, and that's how you grow. In terms of securing internships, just reach out to any founder and just say that I want to learn, I want to work. Why would anybody stop you from learning? If I come to you, if I say that I want to work under you, Mishika, and you need not pay me, or you can pay me, that's your choice, but I want to learn, would you have any reason for me to stop me right now? I don't think so. So yeah.
right? So always have that curiosity burning in your head and don't stop learning.
Yes. It can come in any form. It can come in competitions. It can come in the form of volunteering, internship, freelancing is one thing. Then you can also just mentor that little kid outside your home, just neighbor's kid or just anything. And you'll realize that, okay, I need to really scale up my, like, remember that Panchvi Paas Se Pass,
Right, right, right.
that episode, right? You'll realize that there are a lot of things we are not good at. And so it's time to always revisit back.
Absolutely. So you've been working and studying as well. So you've often heard this कि यार कहाँ फालतू की चीजों में काम कर रही हो, अपनी पढ़ाई पे ध्यान दो. And I think we all have heard this, whether from people in our
Yeah.
own circle, whether from our parents. And
Yeah.
so how do you deal with them? And I also read in one of your blog how you were talking about identifying people who are stopping us from reaching our goals.
Yeah. So I wasn't this before. So I believe that I have gradually become a person that I was not 5 years back, and that's a process I went through all the work I did. So identifying people who stop you. So there are people. So there are different kind of blockers in one's life, right? So there's this a push block that pushes you to move forward and keep yourself improving and moving in the forward direction. Then there's a blocker that comes in your way, and that stops you from moving forward. And then there's another kind of blocker that pushes you back, right? So you have to identify all these three kind of people. So the people who will push you ahead will be of sorts, at least in my opinion, are of sorts. Okay, Tanuja, you can take care of this, just do whatever work you want, and meanwhile I'll help you out with this so that you can use your time better,
Mm.
and so that you're also not messing up with your college studies, and you're doing your work as well, which you love. So those are first kind of people which push you forward. Then there are another kind of blockers who just stop you. They are like, Tanuja, we cannot do this without you. This is the project, this has to be done by tomorrow, and I understand that you have a deliverable for your client, but we need you right now. So if even if I try to give them a hack, okay, this can be done through this way, so this is my thing. I'm a perfect jugado, I would say, at least in my opinion. I can quickly find those hacks. So even if I try to give that person a hack, okay, you can get through this and this can be done, you do not need my presence here, because I can solve this at 3 in the night, and that can be done as well. But that person is very adamant on the fact that it has to be done at 8 p.m. itself. So those are the people who will stop you at that moment. And then there are people who will push you back in terms of, Tanuja, that's not valuable, and you're just wasting your time, and there's zero learning in it for you, and I think you should focus more on your studies, without being in that space in the first place. So that person doesn't know what is that space, what is the value that space is providing me, but has an opinion that space is not good for you without even knowing it. So those kind of people will push you back. So identify those people very early, as soon as possible, and just segregate and have different approach to all of them. And I think that will automatically push away those second and third kind of people, right? Because they don't want to be treated that way. And
Absolutely.
in terms of identifying and that question on what people commented upon me. So initially, my parents didn't know that I'm working on all these things, and they were like, I lied to them in terms of, okay, I'm working and this is college work and everything, to actually set my foot into the field. And to the teachers, I was like, ma'am, I'm not a morning person and I study till late night. Please, and I'm having a hard time understanding this topic, so I'm studying till late in the night, so please forgive me in the morning if I'm very late, right? So I had a different story to both the people to find my way out of it. And eventually, when they realized all of this in my third and fourth year, they were happy and sad at the same time. But I think since I was happy, they managed to be a part of my story that way. So just find your way out that way, I believe.
Absolutely. Even my mom find it very disturbing in terms of ये सब क्या करती रहती है.
Yeah.
Until I took out the time, sat with her and explained her the process के what actually it is and how will it contribute to my growth.
I mean, yeah, that's the generation gap, I would say. I mean, the people from 1950s and 16, they have this thing in terms of like partition hai and new government, and yeah, that time. Then it was our parents' generation in terms of revolution in technology. They were very new to technology. Now this is our generation who has already seen the technology, right? So there's a difference of opportunities, difference of point of views, and we have to sit with them and explain it to them. So yeah, you made a very nice point there, and I think that is valid to an extent for our teachers as well, when because they were okay with me being late to college if I was studying till late in the night. If I would have said that okay, I was just interning and doing some freelance work, they would have um, been all around my head as in scolded me, and would have been the same case for my parents as well. But when I tweaked the story to uh, suit their narrative, they were fine with it. So just find your way out that way.
Absolutely. So you've also, in terms of community work, you've also been active. So was
Yeah.
there in your mind, okay, this is what I have to do? Was it all sorted, or you just grabbed the opportunity that came in your way?
So 3 years, November 2017. Okay, so I bagged this internship in from a guy in USA. He has yeah, in August 2017, and by the time by 3 years, by 3 months, around November, everyone had an idea. Okay, so Tanuja is interning under some guy in US. So everyone was amazed and they were curious on how I got this and everything. So they were like, Tanuja, hamari bhi internship lagwa de and everything. And like, okay. So at there was a point in time there were like 10 people approaching me throughout the day in college whenever I'm going out, that Tanuja, please, if you find any internship in tech or in non-tech or marketing or any sorts, just send it to us. So it's practically not possible for me, and also the kind of occupied I was as a person, college work and then freelance work and internship and everything, I could not remember. So I was like, okay, I decided to form a group, and I added all those people in there, and I said that okay, whatever opportunities I'll come across, I'll send it here and you take the conversation forward. And within a week the group limit was full, like 257 WhatsApp people on WhatsApp group. I was like, okay. And then those people forced me to create another group and another group, and eventually by my fourth year I was known as the walking intern shala, walking HR in our college. So it happened to me because, and I won't say that I grabbed the opportunity, I tried to find a easy way out, right, to communicate the information to all those people, and eventually it became an opportunity, unrealized opportunity, I would
Right.
say. So I think that jugadu mind thing happened here.
Right. So basically, the problems you faced as a freshman, you sorted that out, and became that bridge for the people who are searching for opportunities and the one who are providing
Yeah.
opportunities. Right. So
Yes, I did this sort of thing even in April when this pandemic happened.
right.
So that portal reached to almost 1,500 students in 1.5 months time, and then there were like 400, more than 400 internships listed there as well. And it was totally organic. I mean, this was just me, a normal girl who has created these two Google forms and circulated it around, and then there were like a list of people who have believed in that initiative, contributed in it, and eventually got an internship. So to just say the least, there were people from Bangladesh, Canada, UK, Ireland, USA, Nepal who got internship in India through that initiative, which otherwise would not have been the case,
Right.
right? So
Absolutely.
yeah, I think that worked well.
Right. Mind blowing. So, being pursuing a very techie course, how did this passion of writing and freelancing came to you?
Yeah, so I'll say, so whenever I am asked to describe myself, I describe myself as a person who's academically an engineer, but everything else at heart. Because
Right.
I believe that those techie things, those technical background gave me that perception, and I do not shy away from technology now, which a lot of people from non-tech background do. They are like,
Right.
okay, that's very coding thing and that's very techie stuff. I cannot do that. But I think the technical background helped me with that, and freelancing mind and content mind was primarily built around the fact that I want to grow. And I realized it very early in my life that communication is important. So there are different kind of people. One person is someone, okay, let's say there's this first person who knows how to get the work done but doesn't know how to communicate that work. There's the second person who knows how to do the work and can also communicate the work, and third person doesn't know how to do the work but can communicate well, convince people, and then is all the show off person kind of thing, right? So so it's always the first person who gets um cornered because that person is not expressing. So there will be very few people in this world of so many, I mean, in India, the kind of population and competition we have, if you don't speak out, you get cornered, until
Right.
unless there is this person who's very patient and very diligent to find that corner room person in the house and work with them, sit through them, and understand what they can do, and then hire them. But it is always the second and third kind of people who get noticed, always are able to grab that opportunity very early. So I realized that, okay, I have to be in this second or third category. Now, third category is something that I do not relate with very personally in terms of values, because I'm not doing any work. I shouldn't boast about it. That's not right. So I preferred being the second person. So for becoming the second person, what I did, I focused on communication first. Like, how do I communicate my value, that I am the person who can get this work done, and as soon as I grabbed other person's confidence, then I got into the working mode. Now I have the work, I have given my commitment, now I have to get this done. Then I got into my jugadu mode thing, and that jugadu mode thing eventually built into a skill, I would say. So it was a process again.
Right. So I was talking about this on a podcast before, which the guest said communication is important, right from convincing your parents to just buy you a toy, and from the moment you're just making your a mark in life or you're searching for opportunities.
Yeah,
So when
it makes sense, right?
right,
Because if I could not have communicated well to my teacher that, and convinced them enough that I am actually studying at night, and convince my parents enough that I am actually studying at night for my college because I'm having a hard time, I would have not reached there, because they would have stopped me in the first year itself, right?
right,
So yeah.
absolutely, communication definitely made all the difference.
Yes.
So, working all these years, do you feel like you've missed out on your college life, like from college, then internships and freelancing work? Laga, is that any fun element missing throughout these 4 or 5 years?
um yes, at times. Not at times, I would say always I felt that. And also I was a day scholar, so in an engineering college, when in a class of 20 people you have 7 girls. Of those 7 girls, six girls are hostler, and you are the only girl who's a day scholar, first thing. And then of all the remaining people in your class, there are just 4 5 more people who are day scholars. So eventually those hostels form a group, right? But then I was lucky enough to find my way out among and establish myself in that group as a friend, and not as a person who's a very professional of sorts. So I had these two identities, I would say, a very professional one and also a very friendly one. I always tried to have a neutral stand in college, but I because it's very human, right? You cannot just remain in silo and have your other identity kept in a secret. So in terms of fun, I had my different ways of fun. So I would just go out with them for just quick snacks, or just remaining in the ground and not going to the class, just going in the cafe and things like that. And also I was I'm not a person who used to go to trips as well. So these hostlers used to go, and long weekend they just go to a trip. Long weekend again, Murthal and everything. I cannot, because I live at home and there are things I have to consider as well. And then I had my freelance work as well. So freelance work, I had my commitments, and it comes very suddenly. So I think while I was focusing on my growth, I missed on that part a lot. But now when I see of it, I think all those friends have stayed with me from my college. So it makes sense. It's not, I think I believe in friendship as a thing that even if you're not there, that person should appreciate you and keep you in their good books. And
Absolutely.
I'm fortunate to have
Mhm.
people in my college, in my school, who have done that with me, and I think it worked out for me. So now when I look back at it, I did not have those bookish definition kind of fun in terms of partying and bars and everything, but I had my own kind of fun. So it's important to understand where does your fun lie. Some people might love going out and doing volunteering work, some people might love partying. That's totally their choice, and nobody should be judged for that. So yeah, I made my ways with that, and I think I'm happy.
Absolutely. And as you said, friends should be the one who contribute to your growth and acknowledge what you're doing. Right, very true.
Right.
So, amidst all this hustle, how did you find your forte? This is what I want to do. I'm sure you must have tried out various internships.
Yeah. So when I started out in college, okay, when I was in my first year, I started out with a content writing. I was a content writer, work for some people, and I realized, okay, this is something that I am getting paid for. I realized, okay, if somebody is paying a college kid for that, I'm just 18, so I think that person finds some value in me. So I thought, okay, I'll double down on that value. Then I wrote extensively for first, second years and did a lot of freelance work. I wish I maintained a journal then, but I did not. I regret it now. But I worked extensively. So for people from Bangalore, Karnataka, from JNK and Mumbai and all other places. Then I eventually got into this internship in my third year from that guy from USA, right? So I understood, okay, so there's more beyond content and I can do more. So I got into social media through him. I got into project management in terms of understanding how to do things and presentation sort of work. So it looks like when we say presentation sort of works, you have this understanding, okay, that's internship wala work and कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा तो उसको ये काम पकड़ा दो वाला feeling. But I was learning and I was very happy to be at the receiving end of all of these things, because it helped me be very precise, attention to detail. I got my attention to detail feature from there. So that's how it, I think that's how I got into this thing. Then eventually I realized, okay, content is, where do we use content? We use content to express what it's in our mind if we want to get anything. And as soon as I figured it out that we are moving into a digital world, and everything digital means it has to be on internet. And how does it has to be on internet? Either in terms of media, video, graphic, or content. Content is one thing that cannot be replaced, right? So I realized, okay, so as we are moving towards a digital world, content would be important, and I have already grasped my um, I have already set my foot into it, so I think I should tone down on that. So I worked again more on this, and then eventually by the end of my fourth year, I realized, okay, it's time to find a job and things. Then I could relate the best to the marketing, and here I am. I currently work as a marketing associate at Squad, so I take care of social media and everything. So I think it worked for me well.
Absolutely. You did find your spot amidst all the internships and community work you did.
Yeah, and I think I'm still not here in terms of fixing myself, because I believe that I'm still 22 and there's like a long life ahead of me. And if I restrict myself at the moment that I won't do anything beyond marketing, that's not me.
Right.
And more than not being me, it's about restricting yourself and cutting your wings at the moment. There are a lot of things in the world which you can learn on and maybe grow. So my growth mindset has still kept those doors open for me to eventually go into some field. So I think I would like to put it as, I started out as a content writer, got into marketing, and on my way towards something, and that towards something is still in the process of um, setting itself right for me.
Right. Beautiful. So I had this question a lot. A lot of listeners have been very curious about it, about the famous MIT India initiative. And you've been a part of that yourself. Can you
Yes.
tell us about that? How does that work? How can one be a part of that? And how was the experience for you?
So MIT India initiative was, I would like to say, a little baby when I saw it, because um, It was to be held this year in January, and I'm really happy that it happened, because that's the only memory I have before pre-pandemic times. Because January, maybe we were all in Mumbai, and we were discussing and having all these sessions and everything. So that's a very happy memory. So now, moving ahead into what it was a workshop of wherein we had more than 300 plus participants, and 30 more than 30 mentors from Harvard and MIT were invited here, who judged and mentored all these students in 10 different tracks. So tracks ranged from music to fintech to um, housing to energy and all other aspects. So you would not find fintech and music in the same track in any workshop. They are
Right.
poles apart, but we had that. So that's the kind of outlook the entire workshop had, a very broad mindset. Then we had various speakers who gave their keynote sessions and who were experts in their field. So it was a week-long session wherein for the first 5 days there were hands-on workshop. People were provided um, objects and hardwares and all the other items they needed. They went on field trips to different parts of Mumbai, Dharavi, and then some places, hospitals in Juhu and other area, wherein they firsthand saw how the things are working, right? Everyone knows how Dharavi is and what kind of place it is. But then there's a group of people who has students from, not really students, I would say. It was a group of students as well as professionals. So imagine there's a group of 5 people, and one might be just a 19-year-old kid, just first year in their college, and there might be a 3-year experienced professional, right? They both bring different perspectives, and they both are in the same group. So they all went to different places and they finally designed a project. And on the last day of the event, we had this um, open session wherein everyone were invited to view all those projects, and they had a very nice science project kinds of display, and it was a good session, I would say. So I think what that entire initiative actually did was um, getting people to do things by hand. So when in this pandemic times, everyone has moved towards online sessions, webinars and everything. And in India, we also see a culture that you have 1 day workshop, 2 day workshop, just random things and all. But this was one of its kind workshop wherein you have participants from all over the India, professionals and students. You won't find professional and students in the same group ever, but here it was mentors from Harvard and MIT who are in their PhD or doing masters, and are associated with so many projects. So all of them were together working towards the same goal, and eventually coming out with a project. So as someone who was taking care of the entire communications, um, I, I am very proud that I was a part of it, to be able to bring together all these people at a platform which impacted so many lives. How can you be a part of it? I don't have an answer honestly to that, because we are not very sure if there would be another edition or not, because the pandemics. So let's be hopeful about it. And as soon as we have any other edition, we'll of course post it on our social media and website.
Absolutely. So I think this is the point. A lot of listeners would have been disappointed because this is what they were waiting for, how to become a part of the MIT India initiative.
But then pandemic happened, right?
Right.
So we have something to put the blame on.
Right. 2020 happened.
2020 happened, right?
So just to sum up the podcast and get this to an end, a well defined end, just to put it all to a conclusion, what is the best advice, be it in personal life or professional life, that you got from anyone, be it a teacher, be it a um, person at your internship or job?
Um, so I'll Yeah, so I was given this feedback very recently at my workplace when yeah, when I was working on the product and doing my research. So the feedback was that I ask questions. I ask great questions and I do not shy away from them. So I think it worked. I have seen that that's working for me when I was in college. I saw that happening. I saw that I grew through that. I got all the opportunities, And when I was out of college at workplace, it was the same thing that was pointed out again by the people who are in the workforce. So I was reassured of the fact that whatever I did in the college and the kind of outlook I had for my life, and the values I had, they were right, because it was backed again by people who are in the workforce. So again, my advice, I will pass on the same advice to others, that ask questions. That person, okay, so if I ask a very dumb question right now, there might be some people who would consider me a fool at the moment, but in the longer run I will be ahead of them because I got my questions clarified, right? Instead of assuming things. So don't assume things, ask if you have doubts, and be curious.
Right. That is also something you pointed out as we started off with the podcast. Be curious, have that little child asking questions in you. And I've
Right.
also noticed something which has happened with me a lot of times. There is no such thing as a dumb question, because there's this
Right.
thing which happened. I had a question in my mind, and suddenly a student stood up and asked the same question. And all this while, I was thinking to myself, "What a dumb question! Don't ask that. Don't ask that."
Yeah.
So there is really
Right.
no such thing as a dumb question.
Yeah, this was another thing, I mean, pointed out by the same person in my organization. Because it eventually comes back to the same line, because we all have our own learning paths, we all have our own journey. So right now you might ask question like, Tanuja, what is PPW? If you are starting out in content writing, I am someone who has done that for a long time now, I would say okay, it's Tessa per word. But you might think that it's a very dumb question, but that's all right, you are just starting out, right? I thought that it's a dumb question back then. So I think it's a learning phase, and the sooner we accept that person, that we both are on different tracks of learning, I think the journey becomes easier, because you start accepting things and you don't put the blame on yourself, and you don't feel shy about asking those questions. So understanding this thing is very important.
Right. So your one final message to all the listeners and the aspiring leaders.
Again, people might say, okay, what are the things, repeating the same words and things, but chase your growth, and whatever you need to be on that path, just get that done. If you have to reach out to that person you do not like, or you have some grudges from or whatever, but if that person is required for your growth, just reach out to them and be humble and ask those questions, accept their help. So don't shy away from accepting any help. There are, at times we have this ego thing coming in between. They're like, okay, that person is very dumb, or so we have this perception, okay, what would that person know? But if at times that person can have a lot to offer. So keep
Right.
your ego aside when it's about your growth. And for the leaders, I would say, just keep doing things in, instead of putting things on others, because when people look up to someone and that person is working, you inspire in a lot many ways. So don't stop doing the things you are doing.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, how to focus on your growth, some people, while listening to this, might get this in their mind to be selfish and chase growth and forget the people around you. But it's not actually like that. It's actually, like
Yes.
you said, it's about keeping your ego aside and reaching out to people.
Yes, you might need someone else's help, someone else might need your help. So it's a journey of growth altogether, that a 60-year-old person is also growing into a someone who's learning how to take care of their grandchildren, maybe. And there might be an 18-year-old kid who's just starting out, how to just manage your entire day. There are so many classes in the college, and then you feel tired all of a sudden, how to manage that energy. So we all are on different parts. So the sooner you understand this, the better it becomes for you.
Absolutely. Very rightly said. It's a two-way process. We all are growing. We all are in this together.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Tanuja, for the valuable session and for all the insights and the tips you gave us and the lovely message. And it was great having you on the podcast.
Thank you, Mishika. I hope you liked it, and for all the listeners, keep growing.